Hey guys, today we're going to be showing you how to do a roof rack install for our original Prinsu and Prinsu Pro on this 2018 Jeep Compass. So that's going to be the second generation of the Jeep Compass. As far as the original and Pro racks go, the mounting's going to be the same. Only difference is going to be the inner side rails. You can check out our written guide for more information on that. But for now, let's dive in and get started. All right, first thing we're gonna do after we unbox everything is lay out all our components. So you're gonna have a side rail for each side. You're gonna have 8 crossbars, 1 clear for the wind deflector. You're gonna have your wind deflector and then 3 mounting brackets per side. They're labeled 1 through 6. 1, 2, and 3 go on the driver's side. 4, 5, and 6 go on the passenger side. Now that we've confirmed we've got all our parts, we're gonna start with our assembly. The first thing we're gonna do is take our mounting brackets, and if you count back to our 3rd crossbar, or our 2nd black one, you're gonna see these brackets just like this. We're gonna install those, and how we're gonna do that is we're gonna take these little T-nuts here, slide them into the crossbars, and then run our 1/4-20 bolts through the side. Got these bolts started now. I've just got them hand tight. We're gonna leave them loose for right now. That way, once we get it up on the vehicle, we can slide this in and out and make sure we get our alignment perfect with the factory roof rails. Okay, now we've got our front mounting foot started. We're gonna move on to our back two. Each of the mounting feet in the back are gonna come with a rubber pad like this. It's adhesive backed. So you're just gonna undo the adhesive and set it on the back side here. And that's just gonna provide a barrier and cushion between our roof rack and the factory roof rails on the vehicle. Once you've got it set down in there, you're just gonna wanna go down and press firmly, get the adhesive on there nice and tight. We'll move on and do the next one now. All right, now that we've got our adhesive on the back of these, we're gonna go ahead and mount them to the side rails. You'll notice on the mounting brackets, one side is slotted, one side is just circular. The circular side is gonna sit up flush against the inside of your side rail. So I've got the mounting bracket up against our side rail right now. Again, the slotted side is facing towards the inside of the vehicle. Circular side up against the side rail. Just gonna take one of your 1/4-20 bolts right here, slide it through the outside. And you're gonna take a washer and a nylon lock nut and start threading that on. And just like with the front mounting feet, we're not gonna tighten these all the way down just yet. I'm gonna run the nut down just to about hand tight, just so we get a little bit of movement here and we can make sure everything's aligned perfectly on the roof once we get it up there. Okay, so once you get both of your bolts started, you're gonna grab a 5/32 Allen drive, then a 7/16 wrench. So the wrench is just gonna go on the back side on that lock nut. I'm gonna take my driver here and just tighten it down. And again, like I said, not fully tight yet. We still want a little bit of wiggle room so we can align things on the roof once we get it up there. Okay, then for our rear mounting foot, we're just gonna repeat the exact same process. So hold the circular holes up to the inside of the side rail, run our bolt and washer through those 2 holes. Then we're going to take another washer on the back side and our nylon nut. We'll grab our 7/16 wrench and our 5/32 Allen key and start tightening them down. All right, now with our mounting feet attached to the side rails and our 3rd crossbar here, we're gonna actually attach our side rails to the crossbars. Each of your kits are gonna come with a few tubes of Vibratite. Just gonna open one of those up real quick. And for all the crossbar hardware and wind deflector hardware, we're just gonna put a little bit of Vibratite on each of these bolts. So you don't have to do too much, just a drop essentially on each one. I'm gonna go down the line and do that, and then I'm gonna start fastening all the crossbars to the side rail. Okay, now we've got the Vibratite applied to our screws. Just gonna hold up our crossbars like this and start working our way down. So once you've got your screws in, you can go ahead and start tightening them down. These are just 1/4 bolts, so the torque spec isn't too high. It's between 8 and 10 foot-pounds. I've got a lot of experience doing this, so I've got the torque collar set on my drill to a good setting, and I'm just gonna run those down. As always, we just wanna be careful to not over-tighten anything and risk stripping out the heads. So just like before with our side rails and our hardware, then we're gonna take our Vibratite and we're just gonna put a little drop on each of these wind deflector screws. So these are the shorter 1/2" hardware. Just gonna get a little Vibratite on all those real quick. And after that, what you're gonna do is take your T-nuts and we're gonna slide them into our silver crossbar here. So what I like to do is set the wind deflector up in front of the crossbar, line the edges up. That way you can slide the T-nuts into position and line them up with your bolt holes on your wind deflector. That just makes it pretty simple once you actually lift this up and set it on there. So that'll be our next step. Just gonna set this up on the crossbar, try and line it up with our T-nuts, and we're gonna start putting them in. All right, once you start putting these in, we're just gonna tighten them up by hand again before fully tightening them. Just gives you the ability to slide everything back and forth if you're not perfectly lined up with the rest of your T-nuts. All right, next thing we're gonna do is place some noise reducing trim on the wind deflector. So you're gonna have the bulb facing down. I just like to start at one end. I'll just use my thumb to press along the edge. Just follow it the whole way. And oftentimes when you get to the end, you may have a little excess. This one's actually trimmed just right. But if you do have a little excess, no big deal. You can just grab some scissors or some shears and snip that right off. Now we've got our wind deflector bolted to our silver crossbar and our noise reducing trim. We're just gonna take it, attach it to the side rails, and then after that, we're gonna be ready to lift the rack up onto the vehicle. And you'll notice for the wind deflector on the side rail here, we've got a slot and a hole below it and a hole above it. That just gives you options for running your wind deflector at different heights. In general, we're just gonna be running in the middle slot, so that's where I always like to start things off. If you want to switch things up, you can always make the adjustment later on your vehicle. Before we bring the roof rack up to the vehicle, we're just gonna have to remove these circular covers right here on your factory roof rails. So you can either just unthread them like a screw pretty much, so it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, or you can get a screwdriver, flathead, and just pop those off. I find it easy enough to just do it by hand, so that's how I like to do it. And there's gonna be 6 of these per side. All right, now with those covers off, you can see our threaded inserts in your factory roof rails. So that's just gonna be some M6 hardware, but now we're all prepped and ready to get the roof rack up on the vehicle. Okay, now we've got everything assembled. I'm just gonna grab a few friends and we're gonna lift the roof rack up onto the vehicle. Yes. Now we've got the roof rack up on your vehicle. You're just gonna wanna visually inspect and see that the holes on your mounting brackets line up with the holes on the side rail. Once you've got that done, we're just gonna grab our little M6 bolts here and start threading them in. Okay, so I'm just gonna start off all the bolts by hand, maybe. And you may have to lift up on the rack just a little bit on this step to get them to go in smoothly. Once you do get it started, it's gonna take a 10mm wrench or socket to tighten it down. And again, just like our side rail hardware, these are only M6s, so we're not looking to go much more in between the 8 and 10 foot-pound range. So again, it's not too tight, don't want to strip anything out. And we're just going to continue that all along the side rail here, and then we're going to switch over to the other side and repeat the same steps. We're just going to keep moving along from front to back. So again, start off these bolts by hand. Always a good idea to start off things by hand, just so you don't accidentally start cross-threading anything if you just run it in with a drill. Especially in a scenario like this where we've got captive nuts on the side rail on our vehicle, we definitely don't want to risk messing those threads up. Okay, so from earlier when we left these front mounting feet loose so we could slide them into the side rail, we're just gonna make sure we go back in now and tighten up our 2 5/32 head screws here. And again, just like with these front mounting feet, on our rear mounting feet here, we left them slightly loose earlier. So we're just gonna grab our 7/16 wrench right here. And go in and grab those nylon nuts. And take our 5/32 Allen, go out to the outside of the side rail and tighten everything down. So you'll do that driver and passenger side, and then you'll be complete with the install. All right, we've got our Pro and Original roof racks installed now, guys. If you've got any more questions, just reach out in the comments below. Until next time, see you out on the trails.